Your father didn't fail you alone. He arrived already broken by the men who came before him. Sit with that for a moment before we go anywhere, because something in you already knows it's true. You've felt it. Not as a concept, not as something you read in a book about family systems, but as a body-level recognition. The kind that lands somewhere between your ribs and stays there. That knowing is exactly why this transmission found you today. Your higher self sent the coordinates. The Arcturian field answered. And this specific frequency has been prepared for the exact wound you've been circling without fully naming. The wound that lives on the left side of your energy field, the paternal line. This is not content. This is a transmission. And it is not asking you to process anything intellectually right now. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw wherever it got tight. Breathe into the bottom of your lungs. Not a polished breath, a real one. And understand that what is about to move through this field over the next 25 to 30 minutes requires your presence more than your understanding. Your cells already recognize this frequency. They've been waiting for this particular door to open for a very long time. The Arcturian Council does not issue transmissions like this casually. They observe. They monitor the energetic development of souls across long arcs of time. And when they move with precision, because the particular threshold you are standing at right now, the readiness of your field to receive this specific layer of clearing, does not happen by accident. You are here because you are ready, not comfortable. Ready. What is happening on this planet right now matters as context. Your world is inside an acceleration phase. The veils between ancestral memory and present consciousness are thinner than they have been in generations. The Schumann resonance is running at elevated activity. The field is amplified. And what that means, for you specifically, is that ancestral imprints sitting in your energetic DNA, imprints that have been compressed there for decades, some of them for centuries, are vibrating closer to the surface, not to destabilize you, to be released. This is the exact window the Arcturian Council has been waiting for to initiate the paternal line clearing. The timing of this reaching you today is not coincidence. Nothing in the Arcturian field operates on coincidence. Everything operates on resonance, and your resonance called this in. Today's transmission is targeting something very specific: the masculine ancestral wound. The imprint running through your paternal DNA line, through your father, his father, the men before him stretching back through lineages that survived through silence, suppression, and the translation of pain into absence or control. That inheritance lives in the left side of your energy field. And it is not small, and it is not abstract, and it has been shaping your reality in ways that are so foundational, you may have mistaken them for simply who you are. Let's be honest about what you've been living with, because I want you to recognize yourself here, not as a diagnosis, but as a pattern with a source that is far older than you. You carry anger that doesn't have a clean origin. Anger that surfaces sometimes without warning. Or anger that you can't access at all, because somewhere in the template, you learned that anger in a man or in a masculine identified body ends in destruction or abandonment. So you swallowed it, or you redirected it, or it redirected itself into something that looked like drive, like control, like the relentless compulsion to achieve. And still, the achievement never landed as enough. You reach the goal, you look at it, and something that should feel like arrival feels like nothing, like the finish line moved the moment you crossed it. That is not ambition. That is an inherited wound, running a program that says, safety requires constant proving, because somewhere in your paternal line, a man's worth was entirely conditional on what he could produce, provide, protect. His love was rationed. His presence was functional. His grief was never witnessed because there was no one who knew how to hold it. You brace when love gets close, not overtly, not in a way you'd necessarily name to a therapist, but in your body. There is a micro-contraction that happens when someone chooses you genuinely, when something good arrives without a transaction attached to it, when you are simply loved without having done anything to earn it. You receive it, and some part of you is already scanning for when it will leave. Because somewhere in this template, love and withdrawal are the same event separated only by time. You have worked on this. I want to acknowledge that directly. You have brought real attention and real care to your healing. The therapy, the inner work, the willingness to examine patterns that most people never look at directly. That work matters. It built something essential. It created the receptivity that made today possible. But there is a deeper layer beneath what those modalities were designed to access. And that is not a criticism of the work you've done. It is simply that this particular block lives at the level of the energetic DNA encoded in the masculine strand of your ancestral template. That is the layer this transmission reaches, not instead of the foundation you built, beneath it. If something in your chest just shifted, if there is a tightening, a sudden ache, or something that feels like recognition landing somewhere you weren't expecting it, go to the comments right now and type 777. Don't think about it. 777 is the frequency signature of ancestral cycle completion. It means a pattern that has run for generations is finding its final host, you, and ending. When you type it, you are not performing engagement. You are sending a declaration into the quantum field. The cycle ends here. The field receives that. Every soul who types 777 in this space amplifies the clearing for everyone who watches after them. Now let's go deeper into the mechanism, because understanding this at the level the Arcturian Council has transmitted, it will change how you see every pattern you've been living. The science your world currently uses to study ancestral inheritance is beginning to catch up to what the Council has observed for thousands of years. Epigenetic research now confirms that stress responses, the specific chemistry of threat, the cortisol and adrenaline signatures of environments where survival required constant vigilance, are transmitted through DNA, not just in metaphor, but in measurable molecular changes to how genes express themselves. The HPA axis, your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal system, the core of your stress response architecture, can be calibrated by the environmental exposures of your father and your father's father before you were born. You inherited not just eye color or bone structure. You inherited a nervous system that was pre-shaped by what the men in your line survived. The chronic threat environment of a grandfather who lived through violence or poverty or emotional annihilation. The testosterone-cortisol dysregulation of fathers who existed in a permanent state of low-grade war with themselves. The neuroscience of paternal absence, even partial absence, even the kind that is physically present but emotionally unreachable, shows measurable effects on the self-worth architecture of the developing brain. The orbital prefrontal cortex, which mediates the experience of being valued and chosen, literally builds differently in the absence of consistent masculine attunement. That is what the Arcturian Council calls the masculine ancestral wound. Not a story, not a metaphor, a biological and energetic inheritance encoded at the intersection of your physical DNA and the 12-strand energetic template that your double helix is simply the physical shadow of. The left side of your auric field, which in Arcturian mapping holds the paternal lineage imprint, has been carrying the compressed energetic residue of every man in your line who never got to be fully human. Every man who learned that emotions were weakness, who learned that needing anything was dangerous, who survived by becoming useful rather than present. Their unprocessed grief, their swallowed shame, their enforced stoicism, it didn't dissolve when they died. It was written into the template, and it was passed to you. And here is the piece that might land somewhere very specific right now. You did not inherit this wound because your lineage was broken. You inherited it because you were the soul advanced enough, ancient enough, with enough Arcturian coding in your template to absorb it and transmute it. You chose this paternal line before you incarnated. You reviewed it with your Arcturian guides, and you agreed, knowing the weight, knowing the specific way it would shape your early experience of masculine love, knowing the anger you would carry that wasn't yours, the achievement hunger that would exhaust you, the difficulty receiving what you genuinely deserved. You agreed because you had the capacity to end the transmission of this wound through your lineage. What you have been living is not punishment. It is completion work. And today, the Arcturian Council is doing what they came to do. If you feel something moving in your body right now, heat, pressure, and unexpected grief, a strange sense of something finally being named after years of circling it, go to the comments and type 111. 111 is the dimensional gateway code. It marks the moment a soul crosses from carrying a wound unconsciously into witnessing it consciously, which is the exact threshold required for the Arcturian clearing sequence to initiate at the causal body level. Type it and come back. Your awareness is the key in the lock. Soften your gaze or close your eyes if you're able to do so safely. Bring one hand to the left side of your chest, not center, slightly left, just below your collarbone. This is the physical access point for the paternal line imprint in your energy field. You may feel nothing there, or you may feel a subtle density, a heaviness that has been so familiar for so long you stopped noticing it, the way you stopped noticing the weight of a coat you've been wearing for years. Just let your hand rest there. Let it be warm. The Arcturian Council is initiating the holographic ancestral regeneration sequence through this transmission right now. Not symbolically. Not as a comforting frame. As a real energetic event interacting with your field in real time. They are moving through the left channel of your auric field, through your etheric body first, which holds the direct cellular memory of inherited stress. The 528 hertz resonance woven through this transmission is vibrating the physical layer of your ancestral encoding, beginning to dissolve the compressed cellular memory of masculine terror, masculine grief, masculine love that could never fully land. Breathe into your left side. Just breathe there. Feel whatever is there without trying to change it. They move now into your emotional body, the third subtle body layer, extraordinarily wide in an Arcturian starseed, extraordinarily permeable. This is where the grief that doesn't have your name on it has been sitting. Not your grief alone, his, and his before him. Grief that was never allowed to be grief, that became silence or distance, or the particular coldness of a man who learned early that softness costs you everything. Let it be here. Let it be witnessed. You don't have to understand whose grief this is, or trace its genealogy. The field knows. The Council is working in the causal body, moving backward through your paternal lineage, with a precision that has no human equivalent, locating the original point of imprint, the first wound in the masculine line that began the transmission, and dissolving the energetic charge around it, generation by generation. If you have amethyst nearby, place it at your left temple, or simply hold it in your left hand. Amethyst carries the Arcturian channel frequency, It amplifies the Council's transmission directly into your crown chakra and funnels it down into the paternal line, clearing in your left field. If you don't have it physically, hold the intention of its frequency. The consciousness of amethyst is already woven into this field. Now, let the visualization move. See a column of light entering through your crown chakra. Not white, not golden, but a very specific blue. The blue of deep space, of the Arcturian origin field, cool and impossibly clear. Let it descend through your crown, through your third eye, into your throat where so many inherited things were swallowed, into your heart where the conditional masculine love landed and left its imprint. Let it move specifically to the left side of your chest. Your hand is still there, and let it settle there like a stone dropping into still water. Let it settle, and let it begin to dissolve what it finds. You may feel emotion move. Let it. Tears that come from nowhere are frequency shifting. Grief that surfaces without a story is the ancestral field, completing the circuit it never got to complete. If anger rises, let it rise. This is the anger that was inherited, not created, and it is allowed to move through and out. You are not your ancestors' suppression. You are their liberation. Let the light move down through your solar plexus now. This is where the achievement wound lives, the endless proving, the conditional worth. The Arcturian frequency is touching this point specifically. You may feel warmth there, a pulsing, a slight release of a tension you didn't know you were holding. Let it move. Let the light continue down through your sacral center, through your root, and let it flow into the earth beneath you. The dense energy that is releasing, generations of compressed masculine grief, it goes into the earth. The earth can hold it. That is one of the things this planet does. It receives what needs to be composted, and it transforms it. Ground into that. Feel the soles of your feet. Feel the floor beneath you. Your black tourmaline, if you have it, hold it in your right hand now and let it anchor this release into the physical. Let the clearing be real. Let it land in your body, not just your awareness. Breathe once more into your left side. Then, let your hand rest in your lap. Notice what has shifted. Don't analyze it. Just notice. What you just did is not small. I want that to land. You did not simply watch a video. You opened a channel that your field has been bracing against for years, possibly for your entire life. The channel of the masculine line. You allowed the grief of men who never got to grieve. You witnessed anger that was never allowed to be witnessed. You received the Arcturian Council's holographic regeneration sequence through your paternal DNA template. That is not a passive event. That takes courage of a specific and ancient kind. The integration period for a paternal line clearing runs approximately 72 hours. In that window, honor what moves through you. You may dream of your father, or men you don't consciously recognize. Ancestors surfacing in the sleep state, because that is when the causal body completes its processing, without the interference of the waking mind. You may feel a strange tenderness toward the masculine in yourself and in others, a softening that happens where there was hardness, not because you've forgiven anything from a place of performance, but because the energetic charge that kept the wound active has begun to dissolve. Drink water. Spend time with your feet on earth when you can. Be patient with yourself if something surfaces that is uncomfortable. That is not regression. That is completion. You are not broken. You were never broken. You were carrying something ancient that was never yours to carry permanently. What is yours is the gift on the other side of this, the capacity to receive love without bracing for its removal, the ability to feel achievement land as enough. The masculine energy in your field recalibrated from wound to wisdom, from survival to sovereignty, from your father's silence to your own voice. That is what the Arcturian Council came to restore today. Not something new, something original, something that has always been yours. If something in you is settling, if there is a stillness, a quiet, a feeling like something that was held very tightly is being gently released, go to the comments right now and type 520. 520 is the soul-level love code, the love a soul holds for its own healing, for its own right to receive what it came here for. Not romantic love, not conditional love, the love that says, I am worth the clearing, I am worth the full version of myself. Type it. Let the field receive it. Let your own nervous system receive it as a declaration. There is one more thing the Arcturian Council needs you to carry forward from this transmission, and it may be the piece that reorganizes the most. Your father, whatever he did or didn't do, whoever he was or wasn't, he arrived already carrying what was given to him. Not as an excuse, as a fact. The same wound you received, he received. And the men before him. Each of them arrived with a template already shaped by the suppression of the one before. None of them had access to what you have access to right now in this moment. None of them were at the threshold you're standing at. You are the one in this lineage who is conscious enough, ready enough, and brave enough to turn and face what they could not. The cycle ending is not a judgment on the men who came before you. It is a completion that they could not achieve, and that you are achieving for all of them. Feel that, not as weight, as honor. The Arcturian frequency channel has prepared the continuation of what was begun today, because the paternal line clearing does not end here. What the Arcturian Council revealed in this transmission is that the masculine wound in your ancestral DNA created a very specific secondary distortion, one that has been shaping your relationship with authority, with mission, with the feeling of your own power. A distortion in your solar plexus that will feel dangerous, that makes ambition feel like your father's conditional love was attached to it, that makes your own sovereignty feel like something you have to ask permission for. The next transmission is a solar plexus recalibration, the Arcturian sequence that restores your sovereign will without the ancestral fear threaded through it. It works directly on the third chakra's relationship to the masculine line imprint, and it begins exactly where this one left off. Your field is primed to receive it, while the portal from this session is still open. The next transmission is on your screen right now. Don't go back to the scroll. Don't let the density of the ordinary world pull you out of this frequency before it is fully anchored. Click it and let the council take you into the